now that
Yeah, I put an E. Fucking dumbass.
now that we have our characters ready, we'll go through them real quick so we can all kind of get to know each other's characters here. And I know you're fucking dying for it, so you can go first, my man.
Okay. So,
Just give us a good rundown.
I'm Billy Bob Joe Bob Joe Bob Billy. My occupation is a doctor of medicine. I'm 82 motherfucking years old. My sex is from female to male, and yes, please.
And also, yes, please. I like that. It's classy as fuck.
My residence is I'm nomadic, and my birthplace is the dirt via fire.
All right.
You came up from literally nothing.
What about
Like that scene in Terminator where he comes up out the ground and it's a fucking ball of fire.
Nice. All right. I guess go next. I am Arthur Broadmeyer. I'm 34. I'm a male from Southborough, New York. Birthplace was Miskatonic. He is a thin, gray-haired man with a strange charm to him and an egocentric personality.
Oh wait, I didn't get to share that part. I didn't know we were reading the full backstory too.
You can, yes, read a little bit of the...
I didn't finish all of it, but...
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we were just doing a general thing first. So just do box 1, and then we'll go back around and we'll share more detail. Because he still hasn't finished yet.
Yeah.
All right, who is your investigator?
His name is Zen Arrowwood. He's a private investigator. He's 35. His sex is male. His residence is Boston. Birthplace also Boston. Then we'll skip the details and get back to that.
Okay, then you can give a more detailed thing.
So, alright. Well, more on Billy Bob Joe Bob Joe Bob Billy, the female to male with sex, yes please. Personal description. Refugee from World War I. Beliefs and ideology of Ashkenazi Jews / Hinduism. Significant people. Wife named Hyundai Elantra. Sexy, right? Kids, age 8 and 12, named Nemo and Mitsubishi. Meaningful locations. Mecca, bitch. Treasured possessions. Brass-plated, crystal embossed, double-ended dildo keychain. Traits. Quick-witted and can ride a bike with no handlebars. Injuries. Injuries / scars. Slight ding in his dong. Phobias. White people named Billy Bob Joe Bob Joe Bob Billy.
You're such an idiot, nigga.
So he's afraid of himself.
I feel like you definitely weren't taking that seriously.
That's like ding in his dong. Fuck.
Encounters with strange entities.
Ding dong.
Was once contacted by a Leo Pleurodon in a prank phone call.
I skipped that part.
You skipped that part. That didn't really happen.
That's
This
like
is gonna be the start of your encounters. That's for.
You didn't tell me not to fill shit in, so I filled it. You go fill it in.
I told you to skip these 2 parts.
You literally said fill it into the best of your ability, so I did.
Wow.
So I was contacted once by a Leo Pleurodon via a prank phone call.
Wow.
And I turned around and I went,
Wow.
but who was phone?
So.
They wouldn't understand that because they didn't even.
You may run into a little bit of discrimination if people find out that you transgendered just because it's fucking 1920s.
That
That
sucks.
literally is a thing.
I'm trying to make the game better. Throw some drama on it. Like playing Risk.
I'm just saying it's probably not gonna come up, but if it is, I wouldn't go around being like, I used to be a woman, I'm married to a woman. Like that's gonna affect.
You might get
NPCs
killed.
would ever see. They're not gonna kill you, but just
Yeah,
they might be
they might.
rude or they might be unresponsive to persuasion or stuff.
That's
I'm
fucked
just
up. That's racist.
warning him. It's
I'm a doctor of medicine. I can do whatever I
It
want.
is,
I can
uh,
sexually
Oh, well, you
identify
know
as a
what,
fucking
though?
attack helicopter.
I'm just
Or a
saying it's
toaster. Toasters don't even
1920s.
exist.
They were still jagging women off for female mania. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It was a time. It was a lot different.
Yeah, they were doing crazy shit back then.
Oh yeah, the prohibition. The Roaring Twenties.
Prohibition.
I forgot.
Okay, so
Oh,
Arthur
I'll tell you what-
Broadmere is a thin, gray-haired man with a strange charm to him and an eccentric personality. He's egotistical, greedy, witty, and manipulative.
Well, that sounds like the makings of a real pain in
Psycho.
the dick.
Yep. His ideology and beliefs is an atheist. Significant people is his deceased wife. His meaningful locations is his old college stomping grounds.
Where's meaningful locations at? How the fuck I missed that?
Treasured possessions is a pocket watch passed down for generations
Oh,
he carries.
never mind.
He has a small scar on the inside of his left leg from a bike accident as a kid. And his phobia is a fear of drowning. And yeah, I guess I didn't write it anywhere down here, but he's an author, so he's specifically like an occult crime author.
I thought he was a journalist.
No, he's an author. An author.
Oh,
named
I
Arthur.
got the rest of mine, so.
Before I
All right.
forget, so did I tell you about that thing in the disaster interview? He battled a guy, right? And he was battling a blind guy, and the blind guy respected him because he didn't try and play
Blind
him like
Fury,
he had
right?
he had a handicap. He addressed him like he was a real battler, right? And the blind guy comes back and goes, what was it? It was, I'm a blind Christian and you're Saudi Arabian, so neither one of us can see our women or some shit like that. And I was just like,
Oh, damn.
oh my god. That is hilarious.
All right, Zalen, give us some more details on Zen Arrowwood.
Personal
Zen
description,
heroin.
You're a heroine.
Just give us the broad strokes of his
I'm
background.
a hero in woman form?
Yes.
Well, I guess it's because I'm a female to male. That makes that confusing shit.
Well, then that means you're still awesome, so I don't give a fuck. What's your point?
Okay.
Cool.
Pray, continue.
You stupid. He has brown hair, beard, glasses.
Is he white or black?
Never really, specified that. I mean, in the 1920s...
Okay, well, Billy Bob Joe Bob, Billy's black. Just in case you were wondering. And he has a daughter named, he also has a third daughter named LaQuisha. I thought I'd point that out.
Names that don't even... Well, fuck it. Ideologies believe? None. And this is quoting him. He don't believe in that ghost shit.
Nice. Very good, very good. It's actually what the book said to do for a lot of those, for like that kind of thing.
Significant
Just like
people.
come up with 3 quotes for your character.
None. Meaningful location, the entire city of Boston.
All of Boston.
Yeah. You
Love
can't,
Really? Not even like the park or whatever, Liberty Park? Or whatever? Which one was it that had the, it's got the Liberty, no, that's, the one that's got the Liberty Bell in it. But that was in Boston.
No.
Or is that Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Is it?
Yeah. Treasure possession, a Colt 911.
Now, is it a Colt, is it Colt 1911?
Yeah, 1911.
Now, is it an M1911 or is it just a 1911?
1911.
You done goofed. Should have went with the M1911.
Would have been the same stats regardless.
Yeah.
I'm just busting his ass.
I know.
Alrighty.
Because
He's
the actual gun
arrogant,
is the
loyal,
M1911.
courageous, honest, adaptable. And you can Scar, he has one over and under his left eye. Like Scar, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phobia,
From Billy
snake.
and Mandy. The guy that's got the scar through, like...
No, literally Scar from The Lion King. I actually wanted
But
that.
both of them have a scar over
Yeah.
the eye. They're both.
Like over and under. I love that. Actually, when I was a teenager, I wanted that as a tattoo.
Get out of
really,
my
I would.
head. I literally thought that growing up when I was watching Billy and Mandy.
Nah, the one that he has is dope because it just goes like right here and it stops, like literally, and then it just continues right there. Like he got it beat the fuck up. we probably killed him or cheated. Milton Scar.
Okay, well, now that we've gotten this
All
far,
right. So,
Right? Like Shadow's Island.
you are going to be hired to investigate an old house in 1920s. Oh shit, Boston.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that it
Rumor
may be
has it.
haunted.
oh shit, we should call up Luigi.
I don't believe in ghosts anyway, so.
Luigi's Mansion. Have him show up at vacuum cleaner.
Okay, so being that we come from such random backgrounds, I'm gonna say that we, for some reason, are all at Zalin's private investigative office because I would assume it would be somewhere in Boston. When we get a letter, maybe we're good friends of his. Who knows? We get a letter, which is going to be our introduction to the story. All right, it's supposed to be a handout, but my printer's low in ink, so I wasn't going to try it. I'll just read it. A landlord, Mr. Knott, asks you to examine an old house in central Boston, known as the Corbett House.
Yo.
The former tenants, the Macario family, were involved in a tragedy, and the owner wishes to understand the mysterious happenings at the house and set matters straight. Mr. Knott has been unable to rent the house since the tragedy, and hopes that you can clear things up and restore its good name. He offers to reimburse you for your time and trouble. The landlord gives you the keys, the address, and $25 cash in advance.
Oh, alright.
Why does this sound exactly like Luigi's Mansion starting off?
Knowing your jobs, you'll want to conduct some research before you head to the home. You could check out the old newspaper articles at the offices of the Boston Globe, or head to the Central Library, or go to the Hall of Records. The choice is yours. And yeah, under cash, you can write $25 now because you now have $25.
Weird.
We all have $25.
About to buy me an eighth.
I guess. I was,
Fuck it.
yeah, I'm too lazy to divvy that up between us right now. So we'll just say he gets all 25. I mean, that's actually quite a lot of money in 1920.
I could buy a meal for a week. Actually, a couple weeks. $25 go a long way when it came to meals back then. Shit was cheap. Fucking nickel and dime.
Okay. Right into it here. I don't know. What do you think?
Sounds weird to me. You know?
Reread the locations real quick. I may have forgotten real quick.
Boston.
I know there was the
His
Boston
law
Globe.
office.
There was
Wow.
the Central Library, or the Hall of Records.
Central Library sounds kind of
Well, wait, what is it we're investigating again?
mysterious.
We're investigating a mystery at a house. We can go straight
I've
to
got
the
a really
house, but we should probably do research before we go.
I got a really dumb question. Why don't we pull that page up on that monitor so we can all see it? So we don't forget.
It actually was, but I also got to be cautious because there are notes that you guys can't read, the keeper's notes. Those are from
So
my
just
eyes
keep
only.
it scrolled so that way the keeper's notes don't come up.
I was trying to, but unfortunately they're embedded in the page.
Oh, that's annoying.
So we'll happen to see because it's probably right under it.
If I had a bunch of sticky notes, I guess I could.
You have a notepad.
I do have a notepad.
What?
You know what? In fact,
not even that. Yo, where's your recycle paper?
where did I put that notepad?
I don't know.
Oh, it fell on
Nah,
the floor.
where's your
Okay.
recycle paper?
I don't have any at the moment.
Oh.
So Boston.
You're a PI. You should probably have that, I guess. I mean, I would. I guess my character would too, but I'm also trying to be DM and stuff. So.
Guy in hat said something.
Okay, so research.
Back and
So
forth.
places we could go to research is the Boston Globe.
Wait, he had that. Damn.
Yeah, but again, what was the thing is, what are we researching for? Was it like murder or some shit?
The only thing we got in the letter was we were told that there was some kind of mysterious happenings there and that there was a tragedy there recently. And after the tragedy, we can't sell the place.
So the options are House of Records,
Boston Globe, or Central Library. That's where they give us. Or we can go straight to the place. All right.
I mean, unpopular thought from Doctor of Medicine. He recommends go to House of Records first to see if anything's been reported.
I don't know. I might have at least a little bit of pull with the journalist down at the Globe.
I think the good doctor.
But if we want true and accurate information, I'd rather have the paperwork from House of Records to make sure that it's actually good information being put out, as opposed to a journalistic bias view.
And I can always take the other option, guys.
Set it on fire
We
until
can't,
it sucks.
We're not gonna split up. We're all gonna go together.
Let's split up, gang.
I say we get a copy of the paperwork from the House of
Okay.
Records and then go to the Boston Globe and fact check after. And compare the two.
That might work out best.
Well, at the third place.
So that way we have our unbiased information followed by the story that was put out that morning.
The library, right?
Yeah.
And then we
Central
can
Library.
review it at the library. Because the library would have tools maybe for us to look further into the newsprint to see if there was something else.
Seems like a good plan of action. All right.
I concur with the doctor.
Plus they have like periodicals and shit like that. Like all the news stories and shit from like
Doctor,
days
do you
before.
speak like that every day? Have some couth, young man.
All right. To the Hall of Records then.
You want to suck a periodical?
You know you get beat up for being sarcastic back in those days. They weren't too fond of it.
All right. Hall of Records. Ask for a library use roll. All right. Who's got library use? I know I do. Does anybody else have library
Yes, and
use
I would
under
do
their
that.
investigator skills?
My guy has.
What, investigator?
Yeah, under investigator skills.
Excuse me.
Or something he asked.
I've got. Latin language background.
All right. I think I'm the only one who has
As
library.
well as history background.
Where the fuck is that one at?
And then
What was it again?
library usage.
Okay. So I'm the only one that has it, from what I understand.
I don't even see it under investigators. Oh, there we go. Library use. So it's second from the top.
Oh,
underneath
there it
law.
goes. Mine is 50.
You actually have library use?
Yes.
Okay, so we're the two that are gonna have
The
to.
second
So
one
basically,
down.
you're gonna have to do one too, I think. Maybe or whatever. Well, you'll go last because yours is 20% here because you don't have it there.
This one right here.
Yeah. Now I saw it after you pointed it. I mean, I looked up and you just used it.
Okay, so there's supposed to be 100-sided dice. It's a 10-sided dice, but they're all factors of 10 or whatever. So basically, what we're gonna do is this. You take
Oh shit.
one dice.
Multiply times 10.
This is gonna be the multiply times 10 side. 42. So I have to get.
So that should be
Is it equal to or less? Is that what it is? One second, I gotta read this.
So that would be 40 and 20. Wouldn't that make it 60?
Okay, yeah, I need to. No, because this we're gonna take one of them and times by 10. The other one is supposed to be a regular D10. This is
Okay.
supposed to get the second digit, if you will. So
Okay,
42,
so that should be 42.
and that is indeed under 50. So I guess I passed. And that means. Where is it? Aha. I get handout 7 for us. Civil court records show that the executor of Walter Corbett's will was Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation.
I was telling him he should just pull the trash can over so he doesn't have to keep getting up so he can throw the trash out.
Shit, a
Still
bag.
from the dice.
Pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets. The Register of Churches, also available in the Hall of Records, notes the closure of the Chapel of Contemplation in 1912.
Why are we going
Second.
10 years back to 1912? Wait, 8 years.
I was trying to find out about just the history of the house.
Okay, so we're trying to go back 10 years to figure out the history of the house and what happened to the house prior to us showing up there, essentially.
Yeah. PI should probably take notes about this.
So 10 years back, we're at the house trying to figure out what happened in 1912.
Well, we're reading a court record. This is what I read. I read a court record showing that the executor of Walter Corbett's will was Reverend Michael Thomas. He was pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets.
Rev. M. Thomas. And he was where?
Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets, I guess.
Okay. I've got it written down as well for backup, just in case.
Huh. Okay, so now there's some sort of pastor involved.
Is he a pastor or prime minister? What?
Pastor, it's a pastor.
Well,
Or
said,
reverend.
Well, we said reverend, so
You know what I mean?
pastor question mark.
I was never really the religious type. I don't know what the fuck the difference is.
A pastor would usually be addressed as Father X, Y, and Z. So a reverend is kind of like a pastor, but of a different way. I don't exactly know what the difference being. I just both know. I know they both talk, and at least one of the two of them may or may not touch little kids. That may have been a far one. I don't know. I find that like reverends are more like in Christian churches.
Huh. Well, he was the executor of Corbett's will. That's kind of weird. That's the only mention of Corbett we could find here. Or of the house.
So the
Church of
reverend was the
Contemplation.
executor, right?
Yeah.
And there was no mention of any other family.
No, just the reverend and his church. We could check to see if there's any other records here, but I don't know what we'd look for.
Family records, record of any children, record of potential deed for the house, anything.
We could see if there's a clerk around.
I
They
mean,
might
See
know
if
where
there's
to
a clerk
find stuff.
around here
I mean,
somewhere,
do we
okay?
have a clerk that we can
There's
use?
no one around. I don't see anybody. So we gotta find somebody.
I mean,
Billy, use your
See,
strength
this is
and
the
knock
part
this
that
wall
sucks.
down.
Is being a DM in a character, I have to step out of the character. You hear faint shuffling, quite possibly just not a couple bookshelves away, quite a distance away, but some shelves back.
You heard that?
Billy Bob looks around. Is there a bell around that we can ring for service?
Looks like there's one
On
on
a
the desk.
table, on a table lined with dusty old books, and a small typewriter. You find a bell.
I find a bell on the front clerical desk, and through the musty window glass, I see somebody scuffling around.
No, no, you don't.
Hold on. Slightly shorter to the point where I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but all I can hear is shuffling. All of a sudden, you hear, "Oh!"
It was beautiful, but you gotta leave that part to me. You're the actor who can improvise their lines. I'm the director, if you will. I have to do those parts. I'm sorry.
That's awful because
It's more fun being a character, believe me. Being just straight a character can be way more fun. Alright, so you ring the bell, and the attendant will let that go. Ow!
Light cigarette.
Okay, one second.
Oh.
So, you're gonna talk to the clerk?
I don't know.
I'm gonna fill the role of the clerk.
I was waiting for storyteller to tell me what was going on. The clerk.
That's
went,
about it.
"Hello."
You said hello to the clerk. Now you guys have to communicate. with the
I
clerk.
wasn't sure if I was supposed to respond back to the clerk, so I was waiting for the fill in there. So we're looking for some records that involve I want to say an executorship of a will that was done in the hands of Reverend M. Thomas. Do you have any record of that at all? He works for, I guess, Church of Our Lord Granter of the Secrets or some other church in the area.
Yeah, what he said.
Well, I mean, we may have some records somewhere in the back, but I mean, you're welcome to search for it yourself. I'm not very well versed with every single damn book in this building.
Would you mind if me and the boys come on through and come peruse the shelves and see if we can find some information?
Here's $1 for your
I could
problem,
throw you
man.
a $5 if that helps the case.
Is bribe a skill? Would that be? What would that be? I feel like that'd be under fast talk.
Oh, man.
It would be under
Did you find one earlier that actually has basically bribe?
persuasion, which I have.
Yeah, I guess that would be bribe.
Oh, then I can't do
Okay.
that. Ah, I fucked up. Messed up what word.
The light green one's gonna be the doubles. It's gonna be the one you times 10. So that would be. Oh Jesus Christ! I think that means that's.
Hold on, can we just redo that because that was a really bad. There we go.
83.
Alright. So whatever the hell that means.
What is your persuasion?
My persuasion, there's nothing written there at the moment.
Don't call the
okay.
table.
Then that would be 10%. I think
It says
failed
10%,
that one.
I think.
Yeah, it does. Mine is a little more printed in. I think that's failed then, because for example, for when I passed mine or whatever, I had to I actually had the skill and I had to get equal to or below that number to pass it. You actually want to be below the numbers. It's weird because usually you want to beat them in RPGs. That's what I'm used to. So this is fucking weird to me.
Not smart. Oh, I fucked up. Going through my game plan. Good job.
Well, if you put one of those numbers as a high number, it's good for you because then there's a higher chance you're going to get underneath that number. If you put it as a low score, then you're more likely to get above it, and that would be a failed roll.
So in order for the persuasion to work, it would need to.
You need to be under 10%. I don't think 83 is 10%. Or equal to. Or would it be maybe that's a 10% penalty?
I feel like that would be a pass because 10% is my current persuasion skill, and if I roll, she'd be 83% persuaded.
I see what you do. Yes, if you play D&D, when you roll the dice or whatever, you're trying to get above a number. In this case, you're trying to get underneath that.
Well,
It's
I mean,
like golf.
I'm just talking about for the sake of because it's one of those ones that's already indicated here. So like since it's already got 10% marked there, you start with 10. So if they're marking it for you,
That's just
if you're scoring higher than that, you would think that that would be the level of persuasion in which that person was persuaded.
yes, but it would have to be below it. Again, I know it doesn't make sense. It's the way this one works. Believe me, I've
but
looked
if
it
it was
up the whole
under,
day.
wouldn't that be a rejection though?
No, in this case, it would be a success. I know it's weird. It's just the way that this one works. I don't know. I'm used to it being the other way from D&D, from years of that, and all day long I've had to train my brain for this. It is under, and it's fucking weird. Also, I don't know why they gave us like percents there. That's weird because like look at dodge is half dexterity, so you would just take this and it would be 20.
This whole thing just sounds like cat shit. And I'm just like, well, call of cat shit. Explain yourself better, please. Because for your typical RPG, usually you're looking to have it be.
Yes,
I mean, just in general, with like.
I know that those general RPGs are based off of like D&D kind of thing. They're normally like that. Yes.
I mean, even if it were to be like Elder Scrolls, I feel like they're all based that way. It's just odd to me.
I was gonna say it. Where is it here?
Like in just about any sort of an RPG situation, is usually you have to have like you start at a base number, and if you score, it's the if this then that scale. So, for example, if you have a persuasion of 10%, and you roll the dice, you have a 10% chance of getting whatever your roll will be.
I hear this. Your keeper will tell you when you should attempt a skill roll and how difficult the task is. A regular task requires equal to or less than your skill value on 1d100. It's a regular success. And then there's difficult tasks, less than half your skill value, a hard success. I don't even know. But those are significantly harder. Not
Well,
probably
skill
just gonna
value
roll it.
100 looks like equal to or less than your skill.
Again, yes, I know it's weird, but
but that's implying that you're 1d100,
which again, one of these is 100. Remember, because
when
it's 8 times 10, 80. That would be the D100 plus this would be the D10, 83. I know. I wish I had just a D10 that had 2 zeros.
even Z's like, I'm sleeping. He's trying to figure it out.
It's not working. I'm trying to.
All right. We have gotten derailed long enough. Back to the thing. So, I don't really take bribes here at the Hall of Records, but I see you with some kind of policeman of some kind. There's a couple law books in the back. You can look through them. That's about all I have for you. And she walks off in a huff.
Kind of drawing the looks. Damn.
Knock, knock, knock. Can you at least unlock the door so we can get in?
Unlocked door.
It's unlocked.
Well, she didn't say anything and just walked away rudely, so I'm gonna sit here and go, hello? Hello? Is the door unlocked?
She's like completely left the floor. So you sit in the empty room there with a stack of books that have yet to be sorted and other books just kind of strewn throughout the place.
What do you say?
I mean, is there anything that's like a legal almanac of varieties in this variety of books? She said there's some law stuff back here, but what are we looking at? And how many books are we dealing with?
Hey Z,
Yes, sir.
I believe you have the skill law because you're a PI, am I correct?
Yeah, I do.
Your turn to roll.
Ah, son of a bitch. Upside down 6 with a line through it,
So a
and
nice
a double circle. Okay.
98.
That's yeah.
Oh,
And
wait,
it,
wait,
what was your skill?
We
for
just said that was for law.
Yeah, no, I mean, what was the number? There's no way he has a fucking equal to or.
what was it, dexterity or?
Law.
Okay, where's
My
the
law is 50%.
where?
Oh,
So-
50.
So we're gonna do in this game. We can't. There's a thing here somewhere here. Pushing a.
So that would be does
Pushing
not
a roll.
pass because it's
Yeah,
over.
no, he would have failed that.
So they're not gonna really give us too much information because looks like we don't have too much information on file here. It looks like we're dealing with some mostly blank books that haven't been dealt with in years.
If I can find it here, he could try and push the roll. But I need to be able to fucking find it.
Well, I mean, for the sake of the game, I'm gonna just turn around and go, oh, well, these are some empty law books that haven't been touched in years. Like, we're kind of missing the smoking gun on this one, guys. So, do we hit the library and try there?
We could try the library. They usually have what we need.
I mean,
We at least got some information here. It
Is
wasn't
that-
a complete
is
waste
that
of our
woman
time.
still around? Are we able to take a copy of what we have with us for comparison? Because, I mean, she would probably need to make us some sort of a photocopy, I would imagine, unless we have to sign out the books. Actually,
Even if we find her, something tells me she's not gonna want to deal with it.
I mean, which of us is wearing a trench coat?
You're both wearing trench coats. Wait,
Okay, so Doctor takes.
yeah, that's a lab coat. That's not a. That's a trench coat.
Doctor takes one book and puts it underneath his coat. Takes the other book and passes it to the PI and goes, "Hey PI, put this one under your coat." And then, "Hey you, Arthur, is there a chance that you have a moleskin that you can a moleskin notebook that you can hide this under and put it under your jacket by any chance?"
I mean, I guess I don't know what this is going to accomplish, but
I mean, for us to be able to get it out of the building without being noticed.
All right.
So we'll just head out, and then we'll come back by later when she's off the clock, and we'll drop the books back off exactly where we found them.
it's not stealing if we return them, right?
I mean, hey, possession's an intent of the law. If it comes back, it ain't a problem. It's like a library book. If you return it, it's coming back.
Speaking of which,
To
let's
that
head to that
library,
library.
we go.
We all
Anyways,
leave and exit. Go to the library. Now I gotta fucking find the library.
We all hop on our razor scooters.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what we were riding. We don't even need to specify. Who knows? Maybe a car? Probably, I guess. I don't know. Train? Train probably more likely. I don't know. Did they have subways at that time?
1920s, they were driving like the Ford F-100s, like
Say it would be slow one way or the other, I guess.
100, like less than 100 horsepower, like still getting moving, but like. Z, wake up! You're teetering.
No. I don't want to fall asleep and go like this.
Yeah, you want to fall asleep on my lap? Is that
Ah.
what you're aiming for? That's a little
Okay,
tricky.
there's the part with the pushed roll. That's what I was
Don't
looking
push
for
your
earlier.
ears on me. Maybe soon. Right for your birthday.
Okay, that. Not even on like the darkest.
Oh,
of
I think I
days
know what
would
that
have
means then.
flown.
Okay.
Dude, do you have any idea how many dudes have tried to pull that move on me? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. No.
This worthy institution has several interesting items tucked away. For each
Grabs
half a
whole
day,
fistful of motherfucking candy. Get back.
for each half a day
Steal
spent
the book.
in research at the library, ask each player to make a library use roll, rolling equal to or less than their skill on 1d100.
I mean, do they have one of those overhead projection things that allow us to look a little closer into the print to see if there's any sort of penmanship that we can read off of these documents?
With the library?
Yeah. We're in the library where they got the periodical section. Like, they should have some sort of a record of previous news over the last several, however long, that we can look through.
We each
Hey,
gotta do
guys.
a library use roll first and foremost.
Well, that is the library use roll, trying to figure out if we can use the library for our usage. Do they have
nice.
this?
29. All right, I gotta pass.
I don't have library use on here, so what about that?
Yours then is gonna be 20. You're gonna be trying to. It's gonna be a hard one. You're gonna be trying to fucking get under 20.
Motherfucker, that's 24.
Oh, it's so close. Z.
Hey, Pupper says wake up. He just went,
Are you rolling dice or jerking them off? Jesus Christ.
I'd have him re-roll that.
I'd say re-roll that. You got that all up in this stuff. Also, you don't have the skill, right? Or no, you do have the skill. You
Yeah,
said
he has
50.
library use.
Oh,
What's the top number it says?
9.
It's an 8, and that's an 89 again.
Okay. All right. So I got something. I got handout 3. In 1835, a prosperous merchant builds the house, but immediately falls ill and sells it to a Mr. Walter Corbett, Esquire.
Corbett. Why does that sound familiar?
That's the house name. Remember, it's the Corbett house. He's the guy who owned it before the last residence. The tragedy. Which we still have no idea what the actual tragedy is. We know something happened. That much you can be sure. And if my years of writing have taught me anything, it's gonna be gruesome. It's gonna be gruesome. All right, so there's a half a day spent right there. And oh, I see how I should have been doing this. Fair enough. All right, I got another one. And you can actually normally you can try and push a roll or whatever, like kind of like a re-roll sort of thing. In this case, you don't even have a penalty on re-rolling. The penalty instead is that you can re-roll right now. If you fail that roll, the thing is you're spending another half a day doing research.
4.
This
Or
one's
40.
the top. Yeah, I was gonna say that was the top one. I'd say just let it rest because you've already gone for like a day and a half.
Fuck the hell, whatever.
Well, you've done a total of a day and a half. I've done a day. He'll be a day. It's not like you did that much. God damn, Z. Why am I the only one having good luck with these rolls? All right, I found another handout here.
Because I think it's time for Z to smoke a cigarette, probably. That reason he falls asleep where he sits.
I take it you want a cigarette.
I mean, I just know how to make him fucking not fall asleep. It requires making him move.
I was gonna say we could get some coffee and put some pumpkin spice in.
You fucking white girl.
Damn right.
White girl.
Even though you drank the pumpkin beer I gave you earlier, I see how it is. If it's coffee, it's different. Okay, so in 1852, Walter Corbett is sued by neighbors who petitioned to force him to leave the area.
Have you ever seen this before? Hemp, For Loco hemp.
I've never seen that. It's great.
Yeah, check it out. Best paired 420 with junk food.
What?
And it's got, it's this premium malt beverage with hemp seed oil, natural artificial flavors, artificial colors, FTNC yellow number 5.
That's something that you're gonna turn into somebody.
All right. Oh, look at this.
Ooh, this one's caramel flavored.
in consequence of his habits and suspicious demeanor. Huh.
What is suspicious? Who's sus?
In 1852, Walter Corbett is sued by neighbors who petitioned to force him to leave the area in consequence of his serious
Wait.
habits and unauspicious demeanor.
Corbett petitioned out.
Yeah, it looks like there was a petition. He's sued by his neighbors. They were trying to kick his ass out of town.
What's the word that you're trying to pronounce?
Hold on. So, let's put a pin in this. And let's theorize.
Oh wait, before we do, is there a specific thing for it? No, I just have to improvise that. Okay. While you're researching at the library, you get a telegram. I don't know. I'm not from the fucking 20s. I don't know how they would get relatively instant notifications. I mean, a letter wouldn't be that fucking quick. Snail mail wouldn't be.
Now they got push notifications turned on. Just
That's
happened.
it. So we get some kind of telegram, or they'd send telegrams through messengers back in the day. Sell telegram through wire, then have a physical messenger show up.
I am. You're fucked. Get out.
But you get a message from our employer, Mr. Knott, asking us how things are progressing, and urging us to please resolve the investigation. After all, remember, time is money, boys.
I mean, nigga, we've been on this a day.
Probably, well, I don't know how long the first day or whatever of our research. I guess you could say that was a day, and then altogether we spent like a day and a half at the library.
Point being is,
It's specifically at the library that it's just a scripted thing.
Niggas a pain in my dick.
Already.
So,
And we a day into this job, boys.
there's probably more stuff here if you guys want to look, but
I'm gonna go along
Well,
with the story.
I want to touch on the petition thing and the original owner.
see if we can find more information here about that.
Well, I have a theory, actually, considering Doctor of Medicine over here. So, we'll cigarette break and theorize real quick, kind of like you would with Settlers of Catan. We'll fucking see what we think of. Because when in doubt, theorization is always a good idea.
In theory, I think the doctor shouldn't theorize so much when he's stepping on professional feet here.
I mean,
I don't disrespect your intelligence, doctor. You are a good sir.
But this is my area of expertise.
Yeah, you are kind of.
See, I write some of the books you may find in
And I
a
see
place
the
like
stuff that
this.
you're talking about. Not saying you're doing a bad thing. I'm glad that you give me a little leeway to go have a cigarette. Would you like one, good doctor? And how about you, Sir Shakespeare King
It's Arthur.
Stephen Williams?
Just call him Arthur. Oh, and if you need to say something out of character, just obviously be like, out of character, and then say it. Obviously, that's how you distinguish that. Other than accents, if you're doing an accent for your character.
Alright, side note.
I'm so like, what? This is like way too in depth. So, okay. Your area of expertise is now theorizing too, even though.
Well, I mean, kind of.
Okay.
I'm a crime writer. English and lit are I think the strongest.
Actually, the real
I think my strongest is literature, and my second strongest skill
But
is
as a
language
doctor of
own
medicine.
and occult. I also have, I think the same library uses him. I think he has also 50.
Hey, writer.
Surprisingly.
Let the good doctor talk for a second there, sir.
But as a doctor of medicine with someone falling sick and something to do with someone being petitioned out of town for behavioral type.
Right, that kind of throws flags for you, doc.
It throws a flag that potentially the man had fallen
I can see where that
mentally ill in some variety and was acting out, and it was causing the neighbors to have cause of concern, which led to the petitioning of wanting to throw him out, which led to the sale of the home.
Or what if they believe he was responsible for the
deduction,
person who
doctor.
fell ill's death?
Again, theorizing via cigarette, because that's a thought I'm like, I need a fucking cigarette. Because it's like, that's a loaded thought. That is literally a loaded thought.
In theory.
No, but I don't think anybody fell ill though. Out of character, I don't think anybody fell ill. It's
You literally said.
Oh no, I did just the merchant who built the house falls ill, but he sold it to the guy.
Who you said the original owner was Corbett, who was the one that built it.
No, because Corbett is the one who bought it. He's the There's a builder who the original owner is Corbett, who sold it to Corbett right after he built it because he fell ill, and then Corbett got ran the fuck out of town, and then some other family moved in and some tragedy happened, and now they think it's haunted. That's where we're at.
That makes not a fucking single bit of sense.
Well, we're still early in the mystery.
Ooh, Archie's mystery.
I mean,
Ooh, Archie's mystery.
I mean, the mystery is the fact that this isn't
Dun,
quite
dun,
making
dun,
sense
dun,
because
dun,
the,
dun,
ori- the original owner
Hey,
of
doctor,
said
dude,
home,
they're rising for you.
I would assume to be
Who are you?
like my thought would be original owner of home would be like chances are back in the 1920s most people were building their houses and original owner would be whoever had the house built for them. So my thought being is by that logic of a lot of houses were built back in the 1920s, 1930s up into the 1950s. I'm kind of like, well, maybe the original owner was the person who ended up getting run out of town and sent to an insane asylum.
No, he fell ill.
That's what I'm saying.
But he wasn't like the original owner. He didn't own the building. He just built it and then sold it immediately.
What I'm saying is fell ill could mean a few different things because back in the day,
it is vague. It is vague
when
as hell.
people fell ill back in the day, it could be mentally ill and they just put them into fucking mental asylums.
That's true, and they did word it very, very like that. So.
That's why I'm saying, like, if he was petitioned out,
That means he could just been a bad neighbor and they just wanted him to fuck out of there. I mean,
Of course, the PI thinks that.
usually it's something to that effect where a neighbor doesn't like another neighbor for some particular reason because someone pisses them off because of something that they seem or deem they don't like, and it's like, oh, you're intruding in my space, so I'm gonna be all uppity about that shit and fucking call me to fucking come down
like roaring,
and see.
well, when you're dealing with roaring 20s, it's one of those things that's kind of a fact check where it's like, well, that's during a lot of the time period of where, like, medicine, like, with my character supposedly being a doctor of medicine, like, my character would fall into that being the doctor of medicine.
Yeah, your character probably would have.
My character would have
Considered
probably either considered what the deal was with that particular character, or it would have been something that was like, oh, well, maybe I had seen said character and had passed diagnosis of some sort, maybe. Like, that's my question on it, because the way this is all worded.
All right, we will be right back. We're taking a 5-minute, I guess. There's so many cans in the way. Oh my. Okay, I'm back here. Okay. Alrighty. So, try and spend another half a day here, and then we'll move on. Oh, I failed that roll. Do you wanna roll, or do you want him to roll? You don't have to roll at this point.
Double zeros, snake eyes.
So that would be a
That's a
0.
nice.
That'd be a 10, right? 10. You passed.
Cool. Took long enough.
You sure? Go for it.
Steven Kitty Cat.
51. If you had gotten that to a 0, whatever you would. Okay.
Oh, sorry, Lucy. I'm sorry.
Sorry, the next one. Evidently,
Sorry, didn't mean to
Corbett
scare you.
wins the lawsuit. His obituary in 1866 states that he still lived in the same place. It also states that a second lawsuit was being waged to prevent Corbett from being buried in his basement, as provided by his will.
Well, first off, that sounds like 55 shades of fucking illegal.
That's right.
So
I would
he won
know.
the first lawsuit, and he was allowed to stay in the house and stay in the town. And then when he died, in his will it said something, I guess,
He wanted to be buried with
Wanted to
the
be
house.
buried in his basement.
He
And
wanted
the
Let the
town
legal
filed a
guy-
lawsuit.
That's again a case that kind of sounds like he may have built the
don't
house
do
and he
that.
wanted to die with what he invested.
He wasn't the builder of the house. He bought it from the builder.
Again, he wanted to die with what he invested in, so it sounds like a case of mental illness, which is why I'm saying doctor of medicine is kind of like maybe this guy ended up getting petitioned out of town for something greater than go for it, whatever desires.
Well, I don't know if we'll find anything more useful here. We've spent enough days in this library. Probably time to move on.
I mean, yeah, let's move on to like the newspaper and see if anything's there.
All right, let's go check it out. All right, so you walk in, and it's a busy news office. The incessant ticker-tacking of keyboards drowns out almost every sound you can hear, other than occasionally newsboys shouting out and the drowning ocean of mechanical noise. You notice that there are plenty of journalists and editors around, and there also seems to be a clerk right there when you enter at the desk.
These are your people. Can you get a hold of them?
I mean, do you know anybody in this news office? Is this a news office that you are?
I don't
pretty
know
sure
anybody in this news office, but I'm a writer.
I mean, have you worked with anybody in this office before? Do you know any of the people here?
I don't know, that one guy in the back kind of looks familiar, but not really. I'm going to say probably not.
I mean, is there a chance that you can run some game at him and see what the deal is?
Romeo,
Oh,
William Bill Charm.
See if we can
I do actually, yeah. I mean, that's it, boys. Look,
I mean, you don't
look,
gotta-
I don't know any of these people, but you just leave it to me. I'm going to lay on that charm thick. I immediately saunter up to the news clerk. How's it going? They peer up slowly from their paper, their work. Bit busy. We were wondering if you had any archives, anything about a Corbett house. We were just looking into the property, my friends and I, for a little bit of research. Alright, now I'm Oh, we gotta hope we can try after this, but
I got some other means.
that's probably gonna be up to you.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, I think I got it. Yeah, 3, and my charm is a 40, so thank goodness. He gives me a confused look before pointing to the back. There's a bunch of archives downstairs in the basement if you really want to check it out, but it'll take you a while. The records go back pretty far.
Is there a clerk in the downstairs that we could speak to, or is it just a records office for us to free for all? Probing questions. Because you'd assume in a place like that it's a guarded office that there's going to be somebody we have to speak to. Is there a woman that we should ask for particularly? Or a man of that matter? Is there a particular clerk we should ask?
I guess I'll go down with you just to keep an eye on you. I guess it probably wouldn't be the smartest idea to send you down alone. Artie leads you down the basement stairs, and we all follow closely behind. On the dusty shelves, we take a look around.
It smells like education.
Oh, actually, no, here it is.
I thought I farted.
Good one, Doc. Yeah.
It's basically
they call me a smart ass.
It's basically a files morgue down here. You take a look around and you notice how none of this stuff seems to have been touched in a very long time. It's very dusty. Things are just kind of scattered around. It's organized, but you can't tell how.
Sounds like a fucking factory of weird kids.
Hey, you know if this is organized by alphabet or what?
The permanent clippings are filed by street address.
Do we have an address for the Corbett house?
Damn it.
Or do we just know it as the Corbett house?
I guess we just know it as the Corbett House in character.
So we don't know it as a street, we don't know anything about it.
I guess we must know the address because we had the option of just going straight there. So Mr. Knott must have given us the address.
Okay,
But we just decided to do research before going to the...
The question is, if we know the address, can we look up can we look through the periodicals and find the address we're looking for?
I'm just going to read it. She just hands it to you. It's apparently there was supposed to be some other assistant, but I still prefer to think that Artie, the clerk, brought us down here. Artie scans through a section of old books and clippings. He pulls one out, scans over it carefully, blows the dust off, getting a little bit in your face and making you wheezy.
Dust.
Fucking.
Gotta be
This
careful there,
fucking
buddy.
kid. You're lucky.
He hands us an unpublished story from the Boston Globe from 1918. A feature story which was never published. It states that in 1880, a family of French immigrants moved into the house but fled after a series of violent accidents left the parents dead and 3 children crippled. The house long stood vacant. In 1909, another family moved in and immediately fell prey to illnesses. In 1914, the oldest brother went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife, and the heartbroken family moved out. In 1918, the third family, the Macarios, rented the house, but they left almost immediately under mysterious circumstances.
So, Doctor of Medicine says, sounds like we're dealing with either potential haunting, either that or we're dealing with some severely mentally ill people.
Sounds like mentally ill people to me. Who the hell would do that weird shit like that?
I don't know, man. If you're getting there and all of a sudden you're in and out in a matter of fucking buying it and you're out and you flip it next day, could be haunted. Do we have anybody else we can get to look into this with us? Like, do we have any backup?
Hey, Artie, you
You
you wouldn't happen to know if there are any more records if this goes any further back at all, would you? Artie looks a little confused. The Globe files go back no further than 1878. If the Corbett house is mentioned earlier than that, there's no record of it here.
Do we know the build date on the house? By any chance?
I'll find that handout real quick because we should have written it down. But I don't know if anybody did.
Ours had original.
1835 is when the house was built.
So he said from 1870 and forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no more of use here for us.
So there's nothing dating back that far. Have we looked as far as we can to see if there's anything that dates potentially to like house built, anything? Because I'm assuming that this is all public record bullshit.
Yeah, with a good doctor.
Unfortunately, this is, I think, as far back as we're going to be able to find. So we got a couple options. I mean, we could go to the house, or we could see if we could find that one of the other places or something mentioned. I mean, we got a good couple of leads written down over here.
I mean, so far the only leads that we have is the fact that the original owner sold the house off, and then several families were plagued by what may have been a haunting in the house.
Yeah, but then remember who he left the house to in his will.
He left
To that reverend.
probably to have the house re-blessed again if he thought there was some sort of demonic possession. Would be my guess, which would explain some sort of thought of mental illness, says doctor.
It's possible. I'm no church-going man, but something about that name of his church doesn't quite seem right to me.
I mean, is there a church involved that we could stop at that the Reverend is currently still dealing with? Question him a little bit, maybe?
We could probably find that church. It can't be too far from the house if he left it to him. They must have known each other personally.
I mean, that's an interesting thought. I mean, why would he leave the house to the Reverend unless the Reverend were to have blessed it again and sent it onward?
And if he did, then the hauntings would have stopped, right? Either that or he's a bad reverend.
Unless the house was seanced, I'm not sure. I mean, that's dealing with paranormal, and I really don't know too much about that. I mean,
That's more my business.
more on you versus Samuel.
What was the name of that place? Keep your secrets. I don't know. My writer's gut's telling me that's a solid lead too.
Was Granter's Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets.
Hey Zen, what do you think about all this?
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, but I mean the ghosts and stuff. You think the house is haunted? What do you think?
No. That's why he's looping around. Ain't no such thing as ghosts.
Well, if the house ain't haunted, Zen, then why do people keep leaving like that? And dying under suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, like the on-and-off sickness and someone killing themselves. It seems like there's some sort of possible demonic possession or something going on in the house, whether it's ghosts or of other paranormal activity. I mean,
I tell you what, Zen, that sounds like the unearthly to me. Take my word for it. I've just been writing about it for fucking 20 years.
I mean, has anything that, you're a writer, what, a writer of what?
Occult and mystery novels. You've not read any of my true crime novels?
So, you've got true crime novels, anything dealing with paranormal?
Yes, indeed. They're all true crime stories that have unexplained outcomes. That's what I do.
So, shall we scope out the house and see if it matches anything you may have dealt with?
What do we do?
You want to go to the house? All right.
I mean, hell, if we got the address, it's the next step, Ryder. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's hit the Ford F-100 and then skirt out.
Oh, that was the location. Chapel of Contemplation. That's the other place.
Chapel of Contemplation. That's... Hold up. Chapel of Contemplation. Chapel.
Taking more notes than the PI is.
Well, because, Chapel of Contemplation, that would be, by the sounds of it, some sort of confessional. Am I not correct in that, Ryder?
I told you I ain't no religious person. I ain't never been inside no church.
Yes, but if you've dealt with paranormal, you would you would have potentially dealt with something that would be like potentially a seance type thing that would have required, for example, a pastor to require a confession of and then re-blessing.
I don't know. You get all kinds of spiritual nut jobs. They all kind of talk the same, just with different words.
I mean,
It's the same points.
So
They all kind of blend together after a while.
Do we have an address for the church?
Yeah, we got it from them law papers.
What
The
about,
will or whatever.
How about we pay a visit to the church on the way to the house? See if there's a pastor there that may know something.
Does that sound good to you, Zen?
Sounds decent.
Alright, I guess to the church it is. I switched accents. I don't know why, but I just felt right. What is left of the old church stands at the end of a crooked, dingy street. Dingy, not dingy.
So it's a dilapidated
It's
shit pile.
dilapidated. The ruins are so withered and overgrown with greenery that the gray stone rubble seems more like natural stone than former walls and foundation. You pass a slumping wall bearing white painted symbols.
Oh, we're dealing with Roxbury area. What the fuck? Down in the haunted area towards New York.
Freshly swabbed, 3 Ys arranged in a triangle. At the top of the elements, each Y touch the other 2 Ys in the center. So is created a strange, painted staring eye. In this case, you do want to see. That is
Illuminati shit.
It does kind of look vaguely. Which I. Okay, the camera's screen, whatever.
That's some Illuminati shit.
Continuing on. All right. While you're standing there, you start to kind of notice a weird tingle in your forehead, like a slight headache almost, but not quite.
Yo, I'm starting to get some weird feels. How about anybody else getting that weird feeling?
Oh. Well, it feels like it's about to be a morning after is what it feels like. I haven't had a night like that since the last time I wrote my last novel.
Feels like what it felt like after my wife smacked me with a fucking frying pan.
Maybe we should.
And that's how
Look
Hyundai,
around.
and that's how Hyundai Elantra got a divorce. Now I'm stuck with this kid Nemo and this other one. I'm just like fucking single father doctor of life. Now I'm Billy Bob Joe Bob Billy on this history. How did I get here?
There's not much around here, but I mean, there could be something in all this rubble.
Yeah. The remainder of my life with my wife gone after hit me with a frying pan, leave me with these 2 kids for her to go suck on some other motherfucker that's snorting too much blow.
So we're digging around, turning over different pieces of rubble from the wall that have fallen down.
I love how this has turned into I'm the detective as well, and I'm talking to her and shit while he's sleeping. What the fuck?
I know, yeah, he's clearly a tired man. So, you know, you're moving stuff over. Is that a...
Hey Zen, how'd you stop pulling your putt over there? You gonna help us move some of this shit around?
As you're moving stuff around,
Zen is AFK right now, away from keyboard. He's the dashboard BRB.
so as we're like searching stuff and we move stuff around, we notice that there's the earth we're standing on looks like weakened floorboards. All right, everybody's got to do a luck roll. Okay. 59. What is my fucking luck? 45? Oh, okay. Now I got to do a jump roll. We'll see what that does in a minute. Shit, jump. Jump, jump, jump. Ah, 20%. So I got, oh my god, I gotta get below a 20 right now. Oh, this is not gonna be good for me, whatever this is. Oh, son of a bitch, I failed that roll. Alright, do a luck roll. 63.
Oh, I'm fucked.
No, I don't think so. I think you have a pretty high luck, right? 63, 79. You passed.
Yeah!
Z, roll for luck.
Yeah.
What is it? 1. No, 1. 11. All right, I know you passed because you have a low one too, right? But it's definitely not fucking 11. All right, so you two pass, and I failed both of my rolls. So let's see what happens to us here. Oh, goodness.
Jay gets eaten by a bear.
It is gonna be something like that. Something awful. Basement. You two luckily stepped out of the way before it broke away, or it didn't break underneath you. I tried to jump out of the way when I saw the floor collapse beneath me, but I didn't make it.
You good down there? You need some rope? Escape rope? No, I go, oh, that made my legs are broken.
No, I'm gonna take that. I'm not gonna try and push it. Oh, where's the D6s? Aha, that's the one I want. Let's see, what is it? 1d6 hit points. Ooh. Oh, thank goodness, 1. Right. So I'm gonna put a slash. Oh, that's magic points. A slash next to that one. I think that's the best way, so we know where we're currently at versus what our maximum is. I don't know. There's probably something on the sheet for that, but whatever. Okay. Ah, son of a bitch. Ugh.
Get some dildo in your eye.
Oh. Oh, so it's a little dark down here. Oh, I've got to read the following aloud. Oh, I'm reading it to myself. This is good. You've fallen into a part of the basement that was sealed off from the rest. Originally reached by separate stairs, now buried under tons of rubble. Within this room, next to a cabinet, are 2 skeletons dressed in tattered silk robes. Perhaps they hid from the police and then perished in a fire. I look around for a minute, trying to get my bearings in the dark and see what I can find. And I stumble onto a cabinet somewhere in the dark, and I reach underneath the cabinet, and I find some of the old records for the church. All right, here it is. The musty old journal falls to pieces as you turn the pages, but the name Walter Corbett catches your eye. An entry records that Walter Corbett was buried in the basement of his house in accordance with the wishes and with the wishes of the one who the wishes in his will and of the wishes of the one who waits in the dark.
I was gonna say, DJ Sway, wake up.
Alongside the journal is an enormous volume, handwritten in Latin, but it's so rotten and worm-eaten that the whole sections no longer can be understood.
Hold on. You said Latin? Pass that over to me.
All right, I need you to go to your gear.
Because I have
Put the gear in possessions.
Latin in my skills.
This one right here. Write down. Where is it? Liber, Liber, in Venice. IV.
L-I-B...
Ivans.
R... Wait.
Liber.
Yeah.
Ivanis. And then
E or A? I-V-E or A? For the
A. And just put Latin book next to it. Alright, so I pass you the book up, and you guys help me back up out of the thing. Yeah.
Skirt! He's out.
Alright, so if you want to take a peek at that there, an initial reading of this book requires a read Latin skill of 50 or more.
I got 50.
Or a successful, well, you don't need to roll for it if it says or there, so.
Mine's 50 for Latin.
It will take a minimum of 3 hours. If an investigator takes the time to do this, then... Okay, then I see. So do you want to do that? Do you want to read the book? Give it a quick 3-hour glance through?
I'll take that.
You can't. You can't read Latin. Only him or I can, because both of us have language Latin. But I have 40, so I'd have to roll for it. You have it automatically, so you should go for it.
I mean, I wasn't really looking at you as you're reading, but I guess I'll have to take a look at it.
All right. So 3 hours go by. It's got to be, because we've been out on the trail for a couple days now. It's got to be nighttime.
Or what, on Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail. Oh shit! I dropped one of the D10. Okay, we don't need that. Well, I guess I'll find it in a minute. All right. So on your character sheet, what you're gonna do is you're gonna find Cthulhu, the mythos. Aha. It's the other one that doesn't have a box there. First page. And you can
First
put
page.
right there. You're gonna put 2%.
It says 00 next to it.
Yeah, it's 0%. You're upping it to 2%. Alrighty, and then go to your maximum sanity and reduce the sanity by the same amount. Just take 2 off your sanity. Your maximum sanity. So you gotta circle a number 2 down and erase the other one. You're a little more insane permanently from having read that book. But you also know a little bit more about Cthulhu. Very little, but a little nonetheless.
So I went back to 78. Ooh.
Alrighty. That being done, there's not really much more, I think, around here to check out. You wanna head down the street? Check the old place out finally? I think we've done just about as much research as we can.
Well, let's see. What have we got for clues so far? So, it was Walter Corbett. What was the name of the house?
He was one who was buried in the basement.
So, Walter Corbett. Possibly. Engraved.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, let's go head over there and pray we don't find a dead body.
I think I've had enough excitement for today, honestly, when it comes to that. I'm praying ain't nothing over there.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
You know, for the sake of mystery,
I mean, don't get me wrong, this is great research from the next novel, but, I mean, I think at this point I'm with the cop. I'm hoping it's nothing. Alright, so we head over to the old Corbett place, finally. We're finally at the location that this whole mystery takes place around. So this is going to be like the second half, the other chunk of the story here, if you will. The brick building is overshadowed by a taller, newer office building on either side. The house fronts in the street. In the rear are overgrown plantings and half-collapsed arbor. Access to the rear exits on either side of the residence. Studying the house, the observer is impressed by the way the house seems to withdraw from the shadows cast by the flanking buildings, and how the blank curtained windows hide all understanding of what lies within. Alright, let's just check out the front door, I guess. I go right up to the front door and go to jiggle the lock.
Is there a knocky thing? Knock, knock, knock.
We ain't gonna knock, fool. The house has been abandoned.
You always gotta knock.
For the ghost?
Yeah. Gotta let the ghosts know the motherfucker's coming in.
I frantically go to jiggle the doorknob, but it's locked. See, now this is where it gets confusing here, because when I read this earlier, it mentions all the locks on all the doors, but it doesn't specifically say, I don't think, that the door's locked. Oh, wait, no, I guess it says secured, so yeah, it's locked.
Is there any windows that we can get in through?
Yeah, pickpocketing a lot.
That's actually true. I don't think any of us have that skill.
I don't.
That would have been a good character to have. Somebody would have had that skill.
That wasn't even on the sheet.
It is. It's where is it? It's on here somewhere. Locksmith. That would be the applicable skill. Yeah, let's check the windows. So we go around. We circle the house. And as we run our fingers along one of the wooden pieces, it's so goddamn weather worn, you know that specific feeling of unfurnished wood that's been out in the rain for like 20 years? Just dilapidated. So we go over to the window and we find that behind the kind of really foggy windows, you can't really see. It's almost like somebody was breathing up in there recently. You barely see at the bottom that it's nailed shut. We continue around to check the rest of the windows.
Is there a hatchway that goes to the basement?
I know where it's gonna put us.
A service entrance of sorts that's gonna potentially let us into the basement.
We look around to see if we can find. I guess you look around to see if you can find one while we wait by the windows. You look around frantically, but you can't find any single. God, I know what those things are called too. Entranceway into like a basement outside. Hatchway, yeah, it would be. You can't find any hatchway along the basement. While you were gone, you hear me shout from a distance, "I think I found one. It's pretty loose."
What did you find? A window?
Yeah, I found one. I think we could probably jimmy open if we try pretty hard.
I mean, do we have anything with us to be able to jimmy it open? Do we got a crowbar or anything with us? What do we got?
Well, I got my knife for defense, but I don't think that's gonna do it.
Do we have any tools? Any sort of a big stick that we can probably slim down to jimmy it open?
I don't know. I think the knife might be our best option to get it in there. There's nothing around us that looks like it's gonna do. who's gonna have the highest chance of getting this window open? I mean, I don't think it's gonna be me.
I mean, if we...
I'm voting him.
I don't know,
Same
you
thing.
don't seem to have too much energy to want to do too much, so I'm kind of thinking we should take that knife and whittle a stick and see if we can taper it in there. Since it's all dilapidated wood, worst case scenario, the window breaks. Or we throw a rock. I mean, the house is dilapidated, falling apart, and basically abandoned, so we could just choose a back window, so that way it's
Yeah,
not noticeable.
I don't know if I want him to deduct any money just in case somehow he tries to charge us for damages.
The guy's dead and buried in the basement, and
No, I mean the guy who paid us to investigate.
he just wants an answer to the questions. I'm sure he'd be happy to find the answers regardless.
Alright, let's go with the wood idea, I guess. We look around on the side of the house, and we find a loose plank. It's kind of sticking out, bent. Rip it off. Falling backwards as we do. We get back up. Alright, now who's gonna try and pry it open? Oh, and I guess you said we whittle it down.
I mean, so
We kind of flatten out the edge.
So
we
you
kinda
whittled
get it in
down the
there.
edge, and from what I saw, it had a tapered edge on it when we had grabbed it, and it wasn't that much that we had to whittle off. So if we have you on the front side of it, you can anchor it into the window, and I can try to pull down if you want to put it over your shoulder, and we can try and use it kind of like a fulcrum, like a...
And we'll have him on the end. That would be perfect. We can get you get like in the middle there to give.
Yeah.
All right, we get into position. Give it a big hoist. 3, 2, 1. Crack! We all fall backwards, stumbling on our ass, and look up in confusion. The wood has split, but the window has finally cracked open enough to wiggle away in. It's going to be tight. We can do it.
I was gonna say, it looks like we got about a good 1.5 to 2 inches here we can play with. If we can manage to jimmy it open just a little bit further, we might be able to get the glass to crack in the right place, so we can just crawl right on through. I mean, unless we could find a rock around and we could just throw it.
I know I'm probably the limberest of us here. I'm kind of skinny. I could probably get in there and then unlock the door.
I mean, we're dealing with a 2-inch spot that's been jimmied open by a piece of wood that broke off on a windowsill. I'm not seeing you go through there, Slender Man.
Well, it's up to you. What do you
You're
want to do?
telling me I should find a rock hanging around on the back side of the house, see if there's a brick maybe that might help us with the glass. I'll take a walk around in the backyard and see what I can find.
You walk around into the backyard.
Around, I see a garden in the back.
You
and
can't.
I
gotta be the one to tell you what you find. It's how it works.
But he's sleeping.
I know he's sleeping. We'll have to continuously. I'm telling you, make him coffee. He likes coffee.
He likes his...
He'll wake up if I make him coffee.
He likes his sleep.
Not too much further. We just got to get through this house. We're done. All right, you stumble out into the backyard, and you find a relatively large chunk of brick that is broken off and disintegrated a little bit in the rain. You come back to the group with fresh, renewed vigor, and with all your rage and passion, you chuck it hard at the window. And the window shatters.
Hooray! Why is there coming? There's supposed to be dead people here.
Well, enter the storage room. It's filled with boxes and junk, such as rusted water tanks and an old bicycle. At the right of the room is a cupboard, boarded shut. You want to see if we can open that cupboard?
What was the first thing? We found 2 things. What was the first one?
Well, it's just filled with boxes and junk, such as a rusted water tank and an old bicycle. At the right of the room, there's a cupboard that's boarded shut.
don't know, man. Something don't smell right about this. And I'm not sure if it's coming out the cupboard.
Forget about. I'll do it. I'm curious enough.
Hey, dead body falls on you better you than me.
I go over and pry my knife into the side of the cupboard, right in between the like the door slats where it's clearly like nailed in, and bash hard on my hand to pop it out. I reach in and I find the Corbett Diaries. Alright, it's in English. Oh, it's kind of phrased strangely.
I wonder if it was a weird translation from the Latin book that I have.
I could read it, but this is going to take me a couple of days to go through this. It's a fucking mess.
I mean, let's search the rest of the house. We got beds.
Alrighty. I put the book in my satchel and move on. Alright. So we exit out into the hallway, and there's a couple of rooms on our left-hand side. And there's what appears to be a living room on our right. And another door down the hallway on our right. Where do you want to go?
Oh, God. I don't know. You mean money mo, man.
I guess we'll go to the living room, huh? I mean, it's right across the hall. It seems
legitimate.
good. The room contains conventional furnishings, a radio, a couch, stuffed chairs, and shelves laden with gewgaws? I have no idea what that's supposed to be. You cannot help but notice the unusual quantity of crosses, images of the Virgin, and other Catholic artifacts.
I mean, it sounds about right. The pastor was left in charge of the place at a certain point.
Every time you take a nervous step, the floor creaks ever so slightly. Somewhere outside, there's a flash of light, and you realize it must have started raining.
Spooky.
It doesn't look like there's too much going on around here.
I mean, it looks like we got a bedroom of some variety.
Moving through the living room, past the chairs, as we get close to the end, right by the door in the dining room, the radio suddenly kicks on. But as we go to turn back, it kicks off. Must be a short there, huh, P.I.? Be awake and be skeptical. You know?
Is he be skeptical?
I think he's being asleep.
You're sleeping on camera, wake up.
That's true. He's not a big fan of that, actually. He gets upset about that later on. I'm like,
API, we need you to be surprised by things.
Okay, so we were leaving the living room, about to go into the next room, when all of a sudden the radio flashed on. And then when we turned around to look back at it, it flashed right back off.
We need some skepticism. What do we got here, Chief?
Could have been anything. Maybe just a wire or something like that. What are you guys thinking over there?
I don't know.
I mean, he said it's short, so what you're saying sounds about right. But I mean, heck, when's the last time this place was inhabited? I'm just a doctor. What do I know?
Rich Warren doesn't know about people, but in this particular situation, everybody's smart and not smart.
We enter into the dining room. The dining room is complete with a long mahogany table, a built-in sideboard, and 7 chairs. 3 places are set and unused. Scraps of rice soup rot in a tureen. I'm just going to say Oh my god. Oh, it's so goddamn gross.
Smells like fucking. Smells like Zen.
Very funny, Doc. Sounds like you.
Oh, I tell you,
that's
doctor, I
just-
feel
it's just-
sick now.
No, it's just the curry I had last night. Sorry.
Although, hey, did anybody else notice that that headache from the place across the street's gone?
No, I do not notice.
At that moment, we
that
all.
would be because you slept it off over the last 10 minutes there, Chief. You were sleeping in seance throughout the room, so as we were seancing the room, you were in comatose via Mewtwo, and you side-ducked yourself out of it.
Well, I say we move on past this room quick. I dash into the
it
next
smells like
room.
shit. Let's get out.
The next room we enter in is the kitchen.
Sucks.
It's a conventional kitchen
Nope,
with an ice
sucks.
box, wood-fed stove, and an oven, plus a meager larder. I don't fucking know what that is either. Some of the food stuff may be edible. There's some canned soup and meat, rice kernels,
I don't know if I
several
trust
pastas.
anything in here, man.
and a few bottles of homemade wine.
Ooh, let's shake that up and see.
The
if
produce, which has not spoiled, has been eaten by rats, judging by the spoor left behind.
As for the wine, let's shake this up and see if it's any good. Hopefully, it don't taste like vinegar.
I like the way the doctor here thinks.
I think it's
That's what I was thinking too.
I think it's
All
good.
this and that stink in the room before. Oh no, hand me that wine. I immediately
shakes it up.
corks open the wine,
You gotta shake it
spilling
first.
it everywhere.
Gotta shake it first, otherwise it's gonna be all vinegar. Shake it up.
Oh,
vinegar.
oh, it's bad.
It burned. It's no good.
Oh, it's bad.
But it burned so good.
It's a very fine year, though. Subtle notes of ear.
Pissing ass.
I hand you the wine bottle.
Damn good, Chief. Just off the smell of that. Mm-mm. Nope, smells like the last room we just walked out of. I'm gonna pass.
Teach me to drink before I smell.
Told you to smell it first.
So we walk out of the kitchen. So now we're standing right here. So we could check out those rooms that were on the other side of the hall we didn't check out.
Well, I mean, we could, or
We could check out the stairs on the other side.
or we get drunk off the sulfur wine and flash 4 hours forward, and then wake up at 5 a.m.
Actually, that is funnily enough you mentioned that is a mechanic. If you're playing with a single player or whatever, and they have a sanity thing, it's quite possible that because they have a sanity problem and they can't like face whatever's going on and they just leave, that I have to then be like, all right, well the campaign's over. You were found several days later in a ditch, clearly drunk out of your mind, and babbling. Yeah, this game has some bad endings, and that's again if you're a solo player, at least you guys are together. Probably just die.
I mean, I'm playing like 3 characters right now because he's busy playing Slump God.
It looks like there's a set
Wake
of
up.
looks like there's a set of stairs that go up and a set of stairs that go down.
Well, I mean, what goes up must come down, don't it?
Goes upstairs.
Well, I don't know. We could check those other rooms, but I'm about set on this floor.
I don't know, man. I say we escalate and see what we can find.
You think you're going up?
I mean, hey, we might as well, before we settle in for the night, make sure we ain't in for some shit while we're sleeping.
I'm thinking maybe we should go up too. What do you think, Zen?
I think we should do it.
You got the gun still? Cocked and loaded?
Want to find out?
That's
Alright.
answer enough for me. Let's move up these stairs.
All right, so now we're on the upper floor. We move up to the top floor, and there's a room right immediately right by the stairs there, and then there's a long hallway with a series of rooms.
Right here, fucking, Black Lagoon. Ask the girl at the shit so you want to find out? shoves another clip into the fucking gun.
I peer into the to the fourth room. I kind of stumble in and peer into the to the room. It's a bathroom containing a sink, a bathtub, and a water closet. Water closet with an
German.
overheated tank. Towels and other possessions are still here, typical to find for a family of 4. A brackish pool of water has collected in the bathtub, fed by dripping faucet which cannot quite be closed off.
That don't seem right. I wonder how long that's been like that.
I peer back out.
Anybody smell mildew?
Not too much of interest in here. What?
Yeah, I can smell it.
I don't know if this smells worse than.
I'm pretty
the other
sure I'm gonna
rooms,
wait till
but
I
it's-
get home before I decide to try and shower or any of that bullshit. Cause this bathroom fucking reeks. Wouldn't want to get that shit stuck to me.
Alright, let's go all the way down the hallway and come work our way back through.
Yeah, let's see what's going on down that way.
So we go all the way down the hallway into this bedroom here.
As I flick on my flashlight and we head down the hallway in the dimly lit hallway. That's
Wouldn't he have the flashlight?
no.
You would probably have like a pen light. Wait, did they have pen lights in like 1920?
I would imagine so. I'd imagine it's our only source of light other than flame. There's no flame lights around us from what I've seen. You see anything in here?
I guess you probably both have flashlights because I don't think pen lights would be quite a thing yet.
I mean, pen lights were...
Pen lights are flashlights. They're just usually
yeah,
dumb
no,
LEDs
but
and
I
very
definitely
tiny.
think pen lights were definitely a thing back then.
I'd be hard if like 1920s bulbs are still pretty.
I mean, shit, dude. Doogie Howser. All I gotta say to you is Doogie Howser.
Alright, so we go all the way down the hallway here.
Flicks on pen light. I'm Ross from Friends.
And we are in
that
the
meme just twisted weird.
we're in the main bedroom. It's an ordinary bedroom with a double bed, bookshelf, and a window view. Apparently the room of Vitro and Gabriella.
The writer that says fucking ordinary and everything about this place is
More crosses and
extra.
more crosses and many candles are here. And a rosary and a breviary rest on the table beside the bed. Man, these people are fucking nut jobs, huh?
Sounds like they had some sort of
Maybe a little fanatical though about it?
seem like your typical Bible knockers. I mean, but then again, I'm just a doctor. What do I know?
I heard the doc's right.
I mean, I ain't a mental health professional, nor am I a lawyer or a man of faith, but I'm gonna have to say they seem a bit fanatical. Yeah.
You hear a loud banging from one of the rooms. You can't quite determine what room, but you can tell it's somewhere on this floor.
Really hope that's the hot water heater or it's heat or baseboard, because otherwise I'm out.
Hey, maybe there'll be fresh water in that bathroom. You can take that shower we were talking about.
Not even if my life depended on it, if I wanted to rot in hell.
We move on out and down the hallway to the next room. The children's bedroom.
Billy Bob Joe Bob says he out.
This room contains 2 small beds, toys, and dressers.
That's weird.
Pictures of aircraft and cowboys mark this as the children's bedroom.
Well then. Was there anything in the public file about there being children that had lived here? Because that seems a little odd.
Yeah, because remember the Macario family? There
look
was,
that
there
up.
was a family of many. It was like 4 of them. The kids got put up after their parents died.
Oh, Zallen's room into the floor. Time for him to go into first aisle.
We're almost done, Z.
As you're reading my paper.
Hell yeah. I like yours. Very interesting.
My paper ain't dick. Read yours. You're supposed to be paying attention to your shit.
We move out, finding nothing of interest in there. We move on to the last room upstairs, room 3, the spare bedroom. This room contains a bed frame, bare bed springs, and a dresser, though unused. This room looks like the other 2 bedrooms.
But any variety? Anything abnormal?
I guess we enter and look around here. I don't know. That's clearly a part because it's in italics, or I'm supposed to read. I'm just gonna read the next part too, I guess. This was once the room of old Corbett himself. He stayed here so long that some kind of influence lingers on.
I'm starting to feel something, guys. Anybody feel that breeze coming through?
Oh, okay. And there's a horrible smell that comes out of nowhere. Worse than the downstairs.
That smells worse than the bathroom. And anybody feel that breeze coming through?
Oh.
Something ain't right.
Who shit their pants? Somebody pooped.
Hey Zen, was that you? You should have shot a bullet off to give a warning. Warning shot, motherfucker.
Oh, that ain't natural.
Guns towards the doctor. What were you saying there, sir?
Next time you point that gun at me, it's going up your ass, and then I'm gonna make the poo-poo come out.
Pull the hammer back. Say that one more time.
You best put safety on that, or I'm gonna piss to slap the shit out of you.
Don't seriously go to attack him, because I will make you roll for it. Believe me, you do not want to go down this road right now. So
you've been sleeping for the last 20 minutes. Let's not extend this game any further than it needs to be. It's 3:30 in the morning.
Yes. So
you don't want to go down the road of what you're gonna have to deal with if you start attacking other characters. Just play the game correctly.
So as you two are chatting and getting a little bit angsty with each other, getting all up in each other's faces,
smells like Team Feared up in here, Zen. I don't know about you, but you best uncock that motherfucking hammer.
You look down and realize that you're standing in what appears to be a pool of red liquid. What appears to be blood.
I may have just sharded.
Guys?
Yeah, what's going on?
What the hell's underneath me? Did someone shart?
You guys look back at me. The ceiling is bleeding.
What room's above us?
There is no room above us. This is the top floor. The ceiling is above us.
Is there an attic?
There's not an attic. I checked the floor plans at one point before we got here. There's no attic.
And we saw nothing buried in the basement.
We didn't go to the basement yet. The pounding is clearly emanating from this room.
No, we came in through the basement. We went upstairs.
No, we came into the main floor. When we left, there was stairs up and stairs down, but we took stairs up.
No, because you said when we were in the basement that there was a bike and...
No, that was a storage room on the first floor.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting a bad feeling up in here. This room doesn't feel safe.
I'm feeling a bit of a wrapped up in this bitch, and that smell ain't going away, guys.
You hear a rattling and scratching sound that sounds like it's coming from the window pane at the other side of the room.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Caillou.
Right there. All right.
Hey Zen, you hear that sound?
Yeah, I hear that sound. What's going on?
I'm asking you, because you closest to the window. You see anything?
You want to check that window out, man? You have the gun.
You're the one with the gun. You could at least smack through it if anything's coming at you. Even if you got no ammo loaded in that shit. Take a look. You got...
There's ammo. I have a couple on me.
Why do I not feel comforted by the fact that he keeps his gun loaded?
I mean, why do I not feel comforted by the fact that he cocked the hammer? There was no safety on that bitch.
There's another good reason I shouldn't feel comfortable then with him in our party. So you gonna check out the window, Z?
Hey Zen, check that window.
Check the window.
What's going on?
All right, so you go to walk over to the window, and well, as you do, I'm gonna need you to now that you're inspecting the window, I'm gonna need you to roll for spot hidden. Okay, now I need my phone real quick. Where did I lose that? There it is. Okay. There you go, see? It's the dice. Roll for
It's the dice.
What'd you get?
5 and 8.
58.
Like, you should just roll it for him.
I get the most horrible fucking numbers.
Alrighty, you failed.
What were
On
we
that,
rolling?
kinda-
What were we rolling
He
against?
actually did have that skill, so
What was the skill
he had
set?
40. So you did not spot anything in the window.
Huh.
So you don't get to attempt the dodge roll here because you didn't spot anything hidden. So as you're checking out the window, and you're looking out, trying to see if there's anything in the window frame. Behind you, you hear kind of a creaking noise, and you turn back just in time to see that the bed on the other side of the room is now flying towards you.
Jumps out of the way.
Oh, damn! No, because he couldn't dodge. So what happens is you got struck by the bed, and since you were by the window,
Why did I get struck by the bed? I wasn't near the window.
not you, him.
You just got taken out by a bed.
And you fall through the window or got thrown through it because you got hit by a bed.
Mm-hmm.
So the broken glass and the fall cost you 1d6 and also 2. So I need you to roll this d6. Well, I guess he'll roll it for you. 3. Unless you want to re-roll that. Fair enough. 3's probably good number. So 5. 5. You lose 5 health points. So just put a /5 down from wherever you circled. Oh my God, Z. I got bad news. You're at half health right now.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And also, I guess, theoretically, you are not in the room with us anymore. Because you just got thrown out the fucking window. So you're downstairs outside again.
It hurt.
Well,
And
I'd
we are
hope
in the
it
room,
doesn't
and
hurt.
for us, we witnessed the bed move on its own, so we need to do a sanity check.
Well, sucks for you. You're spending the night at UConn.
So I have a... Is this me or is this him? Yeah, I have a 50. What do you have for sanity?
Oh, God.
78.
Still pretty high, yeah.
Whew. Oh my goodness. And then it says 1/1d4.
Which is...
Which would mean, I guess, mean that value
I had
divided by
1
1d4.
D4 for a small knife.
No, I mean, I think it means it's that number that we have divided by 1d4, maybe?
You lost me as soon as these rules started looking like Dungeons and fucking Dragons.
Well, you know what? For fucking ease of access, let's just say we both pass our sanity checks. I would be. You would.
anything
You
over
would
70,
probably.
I'm going to say that's passing with
Say
semi.
you would. You would probably pass pretty easily. I might have had a difficult time. So we each lose 1 sanity point. If you failed it, you would have rolled a dice to see how many you lost. You would have gotten more than that. So let's just.
How does that work? Like, I lose a point.
Because that's the good outcome. The bad outcome is you get like 4 or 6 or some shit.
Weird.
Okay, so. There. I'm at 48.
For what? Sanity?
70s.
I'm
You're at
76.
Okay.
Of course, that had to go on me. And then on to that. That was how that goes. Thanks, Dutch Gods. You can suck a dick.
Oh, well, Z didn't die, so we don't have to worry about that outcome. He just got brutally fucked up.
Well, that's always good. I'm glad that he only got brutally fucked up.
All right, man. I think it's time we get the fuck out of this room.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the heebie-jeebies in this room. You know, we had one guy go through a wall. He's now outside and down on the bottom floor. We gotta let his ass back in. Make sure he's okay. So let's go make sure that PI's good.
We run downstairs and out the front door, quickly unbolting it and running to the side, scanning the grass desperately to find Z. Zen, Jalen,
Yo, hospital.
Yo,
you just fell out a goddamn window, and we're outside looking for you right now.
he goes, yo, hospital.
I'm dead fucked up.
We kind of really can't take you to the hospital right now. Long story.
We're kind of in the 1920s, and there's not anything open. It's not 24-hour service. Sorry, you're fucked on morning.
So we might as well finish what we're doing.
We could binge you up, but we're gonna have to leave you on the couch on the downstairs. I mean,
Actually,
I'm a doctor
no.
of medicine, but that's all I got for you.
I was gonna say you're a doctor of medicine. You can actually roll first aid.
I could first aid him, but the best I could do is leave him on the couch. But we got to make sure we check on him and make sure he doesn't have a concussion later on.
If you want, since he's going to be sleeping, but we might need him in a minute.
I mean,
And his gun. I can't stress enough.
hey, can we?
See if you can patch him up, and then because I ain't going in anywhere else in his house alone.
I mean, can we transfer the weapon? Is there any way to transfer small knife for gun?
I mean, you could just borrow his pistol, but then he'd have to erase on a sheet, and you'd have to write that under your weapon.
For the sake of just fuck that noise, we're just gonna claim that I traded him my knife, and I'm gonna leave him on the couch. And we're gonna take the gun with us into the next room, and then we'll come back and we'll swap later, and we're not gonna deal with erasing and dealing with that bullshit. So we're gonna bend the rules a tiny bit, because it's 3:30 in the morning, and he's half asleep.
All right, knowing that at the end of the adventure you'll probably give the gun back, or your character will be dead. I'm gonna pretend that you just did all that stuff.
Yeah. So Z.
So
You're bandaged up. You're on the couch. Give us a scream if anything happens. We're gonna head back upstairs. We're gonna take your gun, and we're gonna hope to God nothing goes down. If anything happens, we'll give you a scream, and I'm sure you'll hear the hammer cock because this motherfucker don't go to safety. Doctor hands gun.
he's only moderately injured. He's still pretty handy. I'm just saying.
He fell out a second-story window and a bed hit him.
Yeah, but his damage was moderate. I'm just saying. Look at this. Look at the scale here. There's terminal, which is outright death is likely. And there's splat, which is death is certain. There's deadly, which is they have like 50% chance. There's severe, and then there's moderate. Might cause a major wound.
But look at him. He might have a concussion. Look at him. Just look at him. Just look at this guy. I'm sorry. Doctor of Medicine says I think we're gonna leave him on the couch and let him recuperate for a few minutes because he just fell down 2 stories, through a wall, out a window, was attacked by a bed that was probably a steel frame.
It actually was a still frame. It did mention that. All right. Anyway.
So we're gonna let him recuperate, and we're gonna explore with his gun.
All right, Doc. Then you got the gun. You can lead us first into the basement.
I was actually going to pass the gun to you, and I was going to ask you for your flashlight so that way I could cover.
You already have a flashlight, remember?
Do I?
Yeah, remember you said you used it
I had a
upstairs.
pen light. I had to leave it with Zen so he had some sort of light. Don't you have a
He
flashlight?
has a flashlight. He's a PI. He's got to have a flashlight.
He dropped it when he fell out the window.
I didn't say anything about him dropping it when he went out the window.
This is okay.
Fine, you take. I don't have a flashlight, but you took my flashlight. Now.
I hate that you're like, I'm the keeper, and I'm just like, but you gotta understand.
Yes, but I know that. But the
things
keeper is.
happen,
It's.
things-
You can't improvise in the keeper. It's the way RPGs go. The DM, the keeper, whoever. They're the storyteller. That's how it works.
Well, that's what I mean. RPG games never. Get
Okay.
along.
So. We go down into the basement. Oh, it looks like we're going to be entering into another storage room. And you're leading the way with the gun and the flashlight, I guess. And I guess I'm in the back with my knife ready to go, because I'm kind of on edge at this point.
Wait, how did you end up with a knife? You had.
Remember, I have a small knife.
I thought you had something else too.
Nah, a book. I have a book, but that's not gonna do me any good.
Yo, just throw the book at him. You're a fucking journalist. Fuck it.
Okay, basement storage. The door to the basement has a lock and 3 bolts, able to be opened from the upstairs side only. Below is the
door.
No, it's openable from our side, so the locks are on our side, so we just clearly
Kicks in the door, then realizes that it could have been slit open.
Below is the main storage. Below is the main basement storage room. That's just kind of weird. The stairs are in poor repair, and the electric light bulb does not work.
Falls through stairs, hits floor.
The walls of the basement are lined with closely fitted boards.
You skipped the step in which I fell flat on my face. You make it to the bottom, look at me, and go, "Hey, Billy Bob Joe Bob, you good?" I only fell about 5 feet. I think I'm okay.
Ooh, okay. Make a dexterity and/or a climb roll, whichever you have is the highest. I don't think any of us have dexterity or climb.
Dexterity of some variety. It's probably like 40%, 50%.
I mean, climb. None of us have climb, so. What was the other one? Oh, okay. Or yeah, let's roll for a dex. I think that's gonna be the best ones here. I failed.
Make sure I'm not full of shit on this.
Well, apparently not very dexterous.
Yeah, dexterity. I've got 50. What do we got?
46. Looks like
Yep.
you got it.
Cool. So somehow I managed to cling onto the stairs as I fell, pulled myself back up, and didn't actually fall.
Well, they're not really falling. So.
We're just gonna go for the sake of whatever at this point.
Okay, so, the stairs are kind of like
Rickety
descending
shitty.
and like kind of waving around, I guess, and fluctuating and stuff. And you manage to keep your balance, holding onto the wall in the dark. And I tumbled down the stairs right on my ass.
I thought I was falling.
No, you passed. I failed.
I feel like I'm in a bad fucking MC Escher painting. Weaving stairs and shit.
I guess I'm gonna have to push the roll because I don't want to go back up the stairs or whatever. So then it would just be you going down and I hang out with him.
I mean,
So you manage to maintain your balance and carefully like walk your way down the stairs. I'm gonna try one more time. Oh, thank goodness I got it. I managed to get up halfway down the stairs, work myself to my feet, and get down to the bottom safely. Alright. So in this smallish room, there's scattered a bunch of tools, a pipe, trash can lid, lumber, nails, screws, and a whole bunch of other junk. You can try and search through it if you want.
I'm a pass go and say next move.
So I don't have that skill, so.
I don't think I have the ability to go through that. That's PI and he's out.
See, does he have spot hidden? Did he actually
You have a
have
spot hidden roll, remember?
It's fine.
Yeah, it would be useful now, but you're upstairs resting it off.
He's out asleep on the fucking room.
You get lame all that's all. So.
The walls are lined with wooden boards, and a cursory inspection reveals that it seems a bit thin in certain areas.
This is making less and less sense as we're going through it.
Okay, so this is where we are, right? We're in here. There's this little room off to the side, and there's this like thin wall that just you can kind of see through the cracks. You can see there's some other kind of room beside it. Yes, we'll call it a crawl space. So there's not much light in there, but you can tell there's something through it.
Kicks board until it finds one that's loose.
Let me find that real quick.
There is nothing quick starting about this guide.
All right, so. Well, now I'm kind of skipping because we're supposed to do this differently. I'm sure there was some kind of rule for that. But you kick down one of the loose boards and manage to pry a couple of slats loose, just enough for you to wiggle through.
I'm so happy I knew what the next move was and I didn't even have to read it. It's awesome.
It's I'm improvising.
Yeah. Same. Okay, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning at this point.
Lying motionless and seemingly dead on a pallet in the center of the room is a drawn, wooden-looking, wizened figure of some 6 feet, skinny and naked with ghostly, wide-flaring, saucer-like eyes and a nose like a knife blade. Some sort of chain rests around his neck. He has lost all hair, and his shrunken gums make his teeth look very long. From him comes a sharp, sweet, charming scent. Like rotten corn? That would be those things. The floor is earthen, and there's a table in the southeast corner with some curled papers on it. I go over to touch the papers because I'm out to here. But they crumble to dust when I touch them. It looks like there's some kind of horoscope in the papers.
Sounds like blood. I'm just like, wow.
But I decide, and there's also looks like some kind of photograph in here, but it looks like I decide to pocket that.
I'm just like, this house sucks. Why are we still here?
All right, and looks like it's another sanity roll real quick. Well, we're at the climax of the game.
We're finally
Okay, I passed.
climaxing.
I passed.
Apparently, he went past final stand and died. Because apparently we're playing Call of Duty rules.
Wow, surprising. I would not have thought I would have made that. Alright, you gotta roll for sanity real quick.
Okay.
Alright, you definitely pass, so neither of us have any mental things going into this. So Corbett starts to move. He slowly kind of moves from the center position where his body was, and he's very, very slowly, a couple paces away from me, like moving towards my direction.
Which reminds me of that movie, Disney movie, My Friend the Mummy, I think.
Kind of. He's kind of like a
You
movie.
remember that movie?
I know what movie you're talking about.
I want to say that's the name of it, and it's the one where they took the kids, or the kids took them to the costume shop, and they got them dressed up and walked them through town and shit.
Alright, who is the highest dexterity of us?
Mine's 50.
Might be Z. Oh, but he's not down here, so it's just between us, I guess. It would be you, so you get to attack first.
Okay.
And you already had the gun drawn, so I guess it adds 50 to your dexterity. Nice.
I'm at 100 dexterity. I shoot him in the foot, then I shoot him in the chest. He falls.
You can shoot him once per round. It's
Yeah, well, I shoot him in the freaking foot. He's jumping around.
So, start with the. Let's. 60s. Okay.
It ricocheted.
Quickly go to the combat section. Way fucking back up here.
I'm just like, whatever. Make the rules as we go at this point. This is like Settlers of Catan when you get to playing for 4 hours deep and you just start making the rules on your own.
Ow, man, shit. Fucking stuff. Bitch, bastard.
It's not good to talk about yourself that way, Zay.
My knee in the pain is giving. Oh, I knew you didn't hear that.
I heard ka-ching.
That's my knee popping back into it.
That sounded like not great.
Alright, so you're gonna roll these.
I died
Quick.
in a car accident. I fell asleep. Look at that.
90. There's 90.
I guess so.
So.
Which would have failed depending on what the fuck it was.
Well, I guess this is a percentile roll, so I guess that would be different.
I don't have anything that lines up with.
So.
Like, none of the stats gave a 90. So, like, I'm not sure how that holds true in this, because I don't have a stat that's a 90 of any variety.
No, you're going against
Probability?
the stats of the other person.
Yeah,
fighting.
so technically probability of some variety.
In between you two, I'm dead. I got hit by a car.
Where's that?
You-
I
you-
have your damage thing. It's 1d10.
Yeah, so remember from the
1d4 something or other.
Yeah, but you're using his gun, so it's 1d10.
Something like that, yeah.
Here's these.
where's my fucking weapon? Nah, fuck it.
You have my knife because I left you on the couch and you said you died, remember? You bled out because you fell, and then I had to nurse you back to health and left you there, and you died. Your last stand.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, Z. You hear a shrill ass scream from down in the basement.
Laughs.
So you're weak and resting on the couch, but you hear a loud scream, and then you hear what sounds like gunshots.
Ooh, I try to get up.
Falls on his face. Crawls.
No, he gets up just fine. So you're gonna try and get up and get to us. I say it'll probably take a couple turns, but you could try.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
What do you mean? There shouldn't be reviving. This ain't Call of Duty. Get the fuck out.
Alright, fine, I'll stay dead. Jesus Christ, then.
No, I mean, there's no revive for us. Like, we'll be sitting here for 3 rounds waiting for your ass to show up.
He's gonna be the hero of the horror movie, and die when he shows up. And
That
then
is
try and save
so
us.
anti of any horror movie. No black guy lasts till the end. They're always the first to go.
He didn't specify what his color was.
Must be gray.
Nope.
He's an alien.
Nope.
Will you want to roll that? I'm getting close to the end here.
I thought we did. 3.
So 13. Okay. Okay. All right, you fire off a round. He takes some damage. You see clearly. He turns back to you, and then continues on his path towards me.
You bullets, fag ass.
I turn to face him, I'm gonna go for stab with my knife here.
How many times are you gonna stab him? How many times are you gonna stab him? How many times are you gonna stab him?
You know, I'm loosely doing the rules because I know the combat would take a lot longer if I wasn't. So
Stab him 7 times.
I'm not actually gonna work out how many times I have to
Stab him
stab.
like Final Fantasy 7. Do it 7 times. Do it like Cloud. Turn around. Smack upside. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't want to figure out with my dexterity how many I actually have is. But I got a 4, so that's about the max I can do with this knife. +0. Nice. He recoils. Right, a little bit of blood pools out of his underside, and he does a great big swipe at me.
What is he, a fucking zombie?
Well, he's got some kind of
Tell him to suck a fat motherfucker.
hands on.
Bag of dicks.
I was gonna go with some kind of magic thing, but I don't fucking know or care. Oh, nice.
Okay, there is no way. I lost 2 lighters. No, there we go. Like 1, that's reasonable. 2, no, that's not reasonable.
All right, I am down to 5 health now, and it is your turn.
Mine.
Yes, you can shoot him again.
I want to see damage. 3.
Okay. So you take another shot, squaring right up in the chest as best you can,
Can I shoot at the back of his head?
and big chunk blows out from the front of him.
Okay.
He's clearly quite weakened.
Why would a chunk blow out the front of him and a bolt penetrating the opposite way? That doesn't make any sense unless I'm shooting it.
You're shooting him from behind because he's facing me. You're on the other side of the room.
Okay, that makes sense.
As you do, you see Z coming down the stairs.
Clip clop, clip clop,
He,
clip clop.
He trips, and we'll just say he takes like
Another spill down the
3
stairs.
points of damage. We'll say that. So he's
Back to being shit fucked and his shins are fucked again.
it's like 2 health or something. He's pretty weak. So all right. He goes for another swipe at me.
Misses, falls on his face, falls backwards down his
He actually did miss that one, surprisingly. I thought he would have made that one.
Misses as you run your way up the stairs as I'm covering your back, shooting bullets.
All right, I'm gonna go one more stab, see if I can end this. Oh, sweet lord!
As I'm covering your back, spraying bullets, you take one final swipe at his face.
All right, where is?
I'm just trying to go storyline with zombies at this point. I don't even care.
All right, now. Where the fuck is the end of this fight? Aha! This must be it. Okay. So I stab him directly under the rib on the opposite side of where you blew that chunk out of him. And he slumps down, slowly falls to the ground, and goes stiff.
Finally, motherfucker.
Looks like we finally solved the mystery, and I guess overthrown Corbett.
Wow. That was a pretty shitty ending.
But I'm not done reading it. That's just the. I think I got plenty for my next book. And I think it's about time to get the fuck out of here.
Pretty good idea. See, wake your broken ass up. Let's get the hell out of this haunted ass house.
I quickly run over to Z. You grab one side and I grab the other, and we pull him up the stairs and out of the house. The next day, we meet up back at Zen's detective agency, and Mr. Knott shows up to give us the other half of our payment and thank us. You boys did a fine job. I don't know if I believe some of your story, but the authorities went to check it out later, and there was a body down there. Something definitely happened. Pretty messed up, too.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Hopefully now I can finally rent that place out. No more problems.
I'm not sure I'd recommend that one, but
Do
good
it.
luck.
Do it.
Here's the other $25 I owe you. He hands us the remainder so you can change that 25 to a 50. And that brings us to an end.
For $100, we just almost died 3 times. That was kind of bullshit.
50, but in that time,
Less
that's a
than
huge amount of
$100?
money.
Damn. Fuck the 1920s.
I would love to know what the inflation on that is, because I guarantee it's fucking a huge amount of money.
He's probably dead on that.
Alrighty. Well, that being said, while we're cleaning up, getting out of here,
Finally.
I don't think anybody tuned in, but if you do tune in or you watch later, thank you, and have a great night.
Yeah.